And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Good Saturday morning, DFW. I'm so excited about this show. We've got entrepreneurs, we've got restaurants, we've got a special Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to begin with my first guest is Connie Cross. She is the Vice President of Operations for Vascular Management Associates. Did I get that right?
That is correct, Jeff.
Awesome. And I got to tell you how I first met Connie. One of the clients that we signed up a few months ago is called Marula Medical, and I went there to visit, and Connie is playing the organ. And I'm like, what is this about? And they said, well, it helps you relax. This is blood draw day. So Connie, explain that to me.
All right, Jeff. And first of all, thanks for having me on your show. It's real exciting to talk about the music relaxation techniques that we use at Marula Medical. And it was blood draw day when you came, and I have a keyboard, and we play just soothing, calming, relaxing music. They have found that the participants, the patients that are getting their blood drawn that day, seem to be a little anxious, a little bit on edge when they come in, but there's something about that music that brings a real calm to their spirit. They just begin to calm down. Their blood pressure tends to go down a little bit, and it just makes them feel a little bit more at ease when they go into that blood draw area.
How did you first start getting interested in music therapy?
Well, music has been a part of my life, I guess, about as long as I can remember. I began music lessons when I was in the second grade. And so I just have so many stories to tell about the different areas of music. Most of the music that I've done has been in church music because my husband and I have been pastors for 42 years. And so a lot of church music and opportunities to play and be participating in music venues with women's conferences and things like that, but just always have been a lover of music. I mean, throughout my life. In fact, I saw a little shirt the other day, and I thought, I've got to get that shirt. It said, "A day without music is like," oh, never mind. I have no idea because I really don't. I mean, every day has to have music in it as far as I'm concerned. So I guess just it's always been an interest and always been a part of my life, a love of my life, and will always be, because I have said before and actually shared with other people, music is one of the things, maybe even when you're 90 years old, you won't be able to do those cartwheels anymore, you won't be able to run those 5Ks, but you can still play the piano.
Wow, that's beautiful. My guest right now, Connie Cross, she's the Vice President of Operations for Vascular Management Associates. We're talking about music therapy and the power of music to heal. I remember a viral video. It was about 5 years ago. Maybe you saw it. It was an elderly gentleman who had dementia, and they put some headphones on him, and he suddenly really was awakened.
Yes.
What's the science there? How does that happen?
Well, I know that studies have been done in various places about the power of music and the way music touches your brain. Okay, music seems to activate the hormone in your brain, dopamine. It's actually called the feel-good hormone. And so it seems like, in fact, we could talk about it in so many different areas, but you've mentioned the patients with dementia. So people that have Alzheimer's, and I've seen this myself, they may not remember your name, but you go in and you start playing an old hymn that they knew as a child, they'll remember every verse. They'll be able to sing every verse because it activates that hormone somehow. It gets into their heart and into their mind. And so music has that power. And just like with us, I mean, we may have a touch of forgetfulness sometimes, but of course we're not in dementia state. But when I hear certain songs that activate certain memories for myself, I mean, it may bring a tear to my eye. It may oh yeah, I remember that song when I was doing this or doing that, or when I hear the songs that were played at our daughter's weddings, it just brings back that memory. And I think that's what happens with these patients with dementia. It just activates that memory. And music does that. I mean, think about it. It does enhance learning capabilities. How did you learn your alphabet?
Right.
We learned to sing the ABC song, and it's music. It's music that enhances that education, that learning. Music enhances so many things in our life, and so it inspires us, and I just love it.
Well, I know at Marula they're very passionate about mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
How does music play a role in the whole philosophy of Marula?
All right. Well, and some people have asked me before, why is it called Marula Medical? And so Marula Medical was actually named with inspiration from the marula tree, which is the tree of life, they basically say, because the marula tree is a tree that they use every part of it. It's used in a myriad of helpful benefit for the community. And so the Marula Medical team wants to not only treat you, diagnose and treat you medically for cardiovascular disease, help you with nutrition, help you with exercise, but mindfulness is a part of the practice that really deals with cardiovascular disease prevention, because they really focus on being mindful of everything that you do. For instance, when I first heard that, I thought, what is he talking about, being mindful? And he said, just think of it this way. When you are getting dressed in the morning, when you are pouring your cup of coffee, just take a moment and think about, just have that moment that you really appreciate everything that's going on around you. And I think the music plays into the mindfulness part of the practice, because they come in, here's what I see sometimes in our music relaxation group. The people will come in and maybe they look stressed or they look a little down and out, and I just am playing for them. And sometimes they start humming, or they'll start singing, or they'll say, I know that song, because I play different kinds of songs. I play maybe some songs, people are in there that know Moon River or The Music of the Night from Phantom of the Opera. But a lot of the time I'll also be playing Christian music, some contemporary Christian songs. And it's just really amazing. They'll say, I love that song. Oh, it just makes me feel good. Or they will hum along or sing along, maybe know some of the words. And it's very rewarding to see that the attitudes and the atmosphere really changes for a person when they are mindful, and they just really begin to benefit from the effect of that music. And in fact, the doctor one time walked in and he said, you look more relaxed now than you did when you came in.
Wow.
And I said, it affects me too. It affects me too.
Well, I think it's wonderful, Connie, that you lend your God-given gifts to Marula in that way. For people who aren't familiar with Marula, where are they located?
Marula Medical is located on the campus of Methodist Dallas Medical Center at 221 West Colorado Boulevard in Dallas. And we are actually in the Pavilion 2 building, the Physician Building Pavilion 2.
And let's before we run out of time, I want you to talk about your book, because you brought 3 copies for our listeners who can get one for free if they will hit us up on Facebook on the Real News PR Jeff Crilley Show Facebook page. But tell us about your book.
All right, Jeff. I wrote this book. It's called Joy for Life, because I want to be known as, and I believe I am known as, a joyful person, because I just really am such a blessed person. Does that mean everything has always been perfect in my life? No, not by any means. But God has given me the gift of music, but also a fabulous husband and family and so many friends, and just I love to talk about the joy that I have. And so several years ago, I began it wasn't a blog really, it was just an email weekly devotion that I would send out to a few friends, and it kind of spread. I'd get an email sometimes from Belgium or somewhere and say, I just read it and what a blessing it was. Or, several people would put a friend of theirs on it that I never even really met. But eventually, after about 3 years, someone said, you should really compile some of these. And so this is just a book of 52 of those motivational, inspirational writings that I have, and they're short, they're brief. That's what people like about them, I think. They can just pick it up and read one in just a few minutes, and hopefully it always lifts them up, brings a little joy to life. So that's why the name of it is Joy for Life.
I love it. And where can they get that?
Okay, they can get it on Amazon.com, just Amazon.com, and search Joy for Life Connie Cross, and they sell for $11.95. And if they're in the local area and want me to autograph it, I'll meet them up somewhere and autograph it, and I'll autograph these for your listeners today.
That's awesome. Well, Connie, we're going to have you back. This segment went too fast. Will you come
did.
back again?
I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say.
We could do a whole hour with you. Thank you, Connie.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Jeff. And it was a pleasure to be here and meet with you and all the team here.
Absolutely. Coming up next, you're going to find yourself saying ooh la la when you find out about this French wine festival that's coming up next month here in Dallas. That's next on The Jeff Crilley Show.
More of The Jeff Crilley Show coming up.